Yo, what up? What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Rich. Real Talk with Rich is back in the building. One more again. What's going on, everybody? We here. We are here, and I'm having technical difficulties. Let's see. Hold on, give me just a second, guys. I'm trying to make sure my internet is working on my PC. Yeah, we already having issues already. It's gonna be one of them nights. But we're gonna get in and out like a robbery, you know what I'm talking about, and make it happen. So what's going on? What's going on? Pericles, what's good with you? AJ, what's going on? Glad to be here, y'all. So yeah, so we got a dope show to get to tonight, and we got quite a bit to cover. So I hope everything is well on your side of the fence. Want to shout out to Black Comic Lords, Black Superheroes Forever fam. Want to also send peace and blessings to everybody all over the world, whether you're in the UK, whether you in Compton, whether you're in H-Town, wherever you are. What's going on, Moan? Good to see you. Good to see you. We here. We here. We here. We here. And we got some stuff to talk about tonight. First, before I get into the shenanigans, whatever, I've had a lot going on. And I am just happy to just be here. To be honest with you, it's been a little rough on my side of the universe for a while. So y'all, pray for your fam that things start to settle down because it's been kind of chaotic on this side of the fence. But first thing I want to do is I want to send a rest in peace to Sylvester Turner. I'll get into the housekeeping stuff in a minute. But I want to say RIP to Sylvester Turner. Sylvester Turner was the former mayor of Houston. And, I had an opportunity one time years ago to meet Sylvester Turner when he was a city councilman. And so he was mayor for like 8 years in Houston. He was on the city council for a number of years, and he just was serving in D.C. Taking the congressional seat that Sheila Jackson Lee used to have. So he was working in Washington. So he was a great black man, great man, period. But I had an opportunity to meet him when he was a councilman in the city of Houston, and very, very friendly guy, good guy. He was the first person I know that had a Cane Corso. Some people say Cane Corso, but it's pronounced Cane. Cane Corso, which is a big, huge dog that you don't want to be on the other side of. But he had one that was frolicking in his neighborhood, and my partner at the time took me over to his house because he lived right across the street from him, and just introduced me and another partner of mine. And so I, enjoyed that little brief moment with this dude. But he was a great guy. This is a guy that was, helped navigate and helped be critical leadership when Hurricane Harvey tore up the city of Houston. There was other hurricanes and floods that tore up the city, and this guy did a phenomenal job getting the city back to where it needed to be. And I just wanted to salute him, you know what I'm saying? So rest in peace to Sylvester Turner, great guy. It is what it is. So yeah, I wanted to shout him out. And so, please like, share, subscribe, guys. Let me go ahead and get that out the way. What's going on, Amani? Good to see you. Bo Big, what's good? But again, please like, share, and subscribe. If support the channel, please hit the like button. If you're coming in the door, just before you take your shoes off, go on and hit the like button. Tell a friend, tell a hater, we here. And we got some business to get to. But before I get to the shenanigans of that, I also want to, I've said in the past that black people have real superheroes, and Congressman Al Green, another H-Town brother, may I just say, let his voice be heard on the other night. If you guys watch this State of the Union address, my man's 100 grand, Judge Al Green, I call him Judge because he used to be a judge in the city of Houston, but he's now a representative in the congressional, in Congress, I should say. And so Trump was up saying what he was saying, and my man stood up 10 toes down and told my brother, told him, hey, you have no mandate. Very disruptive. Very disruptive. Good trouble. That's what I'm saying. Shout out to John Lewis. But my man's got in some good trouble and was escorted out the room while Trump was speaking. And the unfortunate thing is that he's facing censure, which means that they may take a vote from him or his ability to vote or on certain things, whatever. But the sad part is 10 Democrats decided to side with the Republicans and, put censor on his resume. Unfortunate. But shout out to the Democratic Party, because y'all are about as weak and y'all want to know why y'all lost. I didn't know whether or not I was watching the State of the Union or I was watching a silent auction. They was holding up signs. I'm like, don't trust Elon or whatever. It was some foolishness. It was some foolishness. Democratic Party, shout out to all of y'all out there. Y'all in trouble, bro. Y'all in trouble. Because in my humble opinion, when they kicked Al Green out, y'all should have stood up in solidarity and walked out with him. Some of them said that they weren't even going. So if you knew you were just going to sit there and just hold up a panel like you was bidding on something, you could have did something. And the manifesto said, yeah, they didn't do that to the white guy that yelled out, you lie. Yeah. But it's always us. It's always us. So, I mean, Democratic Party, y'all got to figure, y'all got problems. Y'all got problems. I am an independent, not a Republican, not a Democrat. I'm an independent. But that was some foolishness there. That was some foolishness. Shout out to Al Green. Because somebody got to do something. Somebody got to do something. Somebody got to say something. They are not playing fair. Okay? They are not playing fair at all. And if we're going to sit here and act like y'all want 3.5 more years of this, yeah. Shout out to Congressman Al Green. Black man, H-Town. Yeah. Yeah. Where y'all at? I'm just wondering what's going on with the party, because y'all clearly are not in the building. That was we all know who's trying to keep a job. We know that much. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. But that's the America you signed up for. What's going on, John Fortune? What up, bro? But anyway, I just want to salute my man. Shout out to him for standing on business and doing what it takes in 2025. We got to do something, y'all. No, I take it back. Y'all got to do something. You know, between the you know protests, don't spend your money at this shop, don't spend your money at that shop, and the Democrats holding silent elections during the State of the Union. Yeah, y'all got issues. Y'all got issues. We're gonna need a whole lot of comic books to read to get through this foolishness. It is, bruh, it is not cool what's going on. It is not cool. It is not cool at all. Anyway, so that's that. We got to go ahead and get into the show. Yo, let's get into it. What's going on? Manifesto shoots out and says, nice Lobo shirt. Yeah. Got my man Lobo in the building. Yeah, that's what's up. So, you know, this is one of them. Y'all can file this under when when I saw this, I was really irritated. We are coming to an age where people are comfortable now saying things about people and certain cultural things that we cherish and love. You know, that's when you know you're old. When people have Martin Luther King has been taking some shots. There have been writers like I heard this one foolish sister that said that who was the God dog, I'm trying to think of the author. Zora Neale Hurston. That Zora Neale Hurston was not a good writer because she spoke or wrote in the accent and language of the people of her time. It just seemed like some of these millennials, and this is not all millennials, and not all Gen Z and Generation A, but a lot of y'all are too comfortable. And it's time for the big hand. It's time for somebody to get slapped. Namely, the idiot that wrote this article. So I don't even mess with the root. Let me just say that, first of all. Only stuff like this come out of the root. The root is trash. Okay? But somebody said that why Black people just need to stop acting like The Wiz is a good movie. You messing with a cultural phenomenon in our community. You know what I'm saying? Who are you to have the gumption to even come and say something like that? First of all, number one, I know for a fact you ain't done nothing. Because if you had done something in your life worth noting, you wouldn't fly out your pie hole something as idiotic and ridiculous as this. Okay. It says here that if you're like most millennial Black folk, your aunts and uncles and grandparents had this film on constant rotation, and it's understandably why. But, there's always a but, on Sunday, March the 2nd, the Oscars paid homage to the late, great Quincy Jones by having Queen Latifah sing the iconic Ease on Down the Road from 1978's The Wiz. Cynthia Erivo performed Home from the film earlier in the telecast, right? So this is where it gets interesting. Now he says, now that both these iconic songs are from the film, but can we finally be honest and admit that The Wiz is a boring movie? You know, film critics gonna film critic. But for you to just like put that out there, like, can we just admit, you know what I'm saying? It is clear to me that your peoples don't know that you wrote this article, homie. Because if they did, they'd probably smack you. Because again, even if you thought that it's quote unquote boring, some I would expect a millennial to say. You know what I'm saying? It's a wonder that you guys are even able to tie your shoes. I just don't understand y'all. Now, Diana Ross is an icon. Michael Jackson is an icon. Nipsey Russell is an icon. Ted Ross is an icon. Mabel King is an icon. Quincy Jones is an icon. But you got the nerve to try to say that this movie was boring. Now, it may have been boring to your immature $2 brain because, again, you guys can't even sit still for 20 minutes without your cell phones or without somebody telling you what to do because you need help. But okay, you say it's boring. Okay, well, maybe you need to stop going to Big Mama house trying to get the next side of potato salad while everybody's sitting around watching The Wiz. I don't know why you feel the need to like put that out there, even though they were honoring Quincy Jones for his accomplishments in that. But okay, this is social media, and this is what these trolls like to do. So again, for someone to say that, oh, it was a boring film, and listen, I expect this from the Melanated Challenge. I don't expect this from black folk. But all skin folk and kinfolk, and clearly in 2025, that is painfully obvious. And The Root is nobody's friend. I'm gonna be honest. That's why I called The Root trash earlier. The Root is garbage. But I felt like I needed to address this because if by chance some millennial sees this, or if by chance the dude that wrote this article happened to see this, he need to know that you out of pocket. You out of line. It's like the scene at the end of Barbershop when Said the Entertainer's character started to try to say something about Luther Vandross. And they checked him like, oh, no. We're not doing that. Luther's sick, man. We got to start putting our stuff, and it has to be like untouchable. But this is a generation that don't think that there's racism. This is a generation that don't know what life was like without a cell phone. This is a generation that is just lazy and and don't understand ethics and hard work. Now, am I being the old man telling you to get off my lawn? Yeah, absolutely. Frustrated says, The Wiz is the best version adaptation of Wizard of Oz ever. The singing, acting, the visual effects is dope as AF. Absolutely. But this guy thinks that, hey, without the songs or whatever, it's a boring movie. I think it's a point. It's a musical. But I guess that dude didn't kind of like put that together, that this is a musical. It's a lot of music in this movie. And yes, the music moves the movie. That's the point. Manifesto says The Wiz had anti-black, dark-skinned tropes that should be recognized and grappled with. No doubt. I don't think it was perfect. But we do have to acknowledge that it's The Wiz. Everything is not up for, the scrutiny or whatever. You're messing. You stop messing with treasure. Stop messing with treasures. Stop messing with things that people, and it's weird to me because the manifesto, respectfully, you can find problems with everything. And that's the point. You're able to enjoy certain things because of the things that came prior to. That's why when it comes to comics and people get upset looking at some of the images of how black people were perceived, I tell people that's the timeline. You may not like the timeline, but that's the timeline. You have to respect the timeline, and you got to respect the people that put in the work to get where we are. A lot of times what we're doing is people are defecating on who built the bridge and who built the building. And that's what I can't co-sign. We live in this world of deconstruction, and I hate it to the core because it's like we can't have nothing. There's always going to be a problem with something. Whether it was made 20 years ago or 20 minutes ago, we can't have nothing. Paul said all like this all the time. Black folk can't have nice things. This is that, or whatever. We got to really consider what we doing and what we doing it for. Because no, everything is up for scrutiny. I have no problem with that. But the Black community is we are the most ununified, off cold bunch that there ever. This what we got today, bruh. Y'all leave a lot to be desired. Y'all leave a lot to be desired. You know, but the guy goes on and says, you know, the movie is a snooze fest, and you know it. Your uncle who smoked Newport, New Pop. Now, this might be your family. It ain't everybody's family. Even your mama or your nana who never took the plastic off her couch. They just didn't want to say it. A movie featuring the greats, well, was not that good. The pacing of the film will put you to sleep faster than Benadryl down in a glass of red wine, followed up by an edible. That don't even sound right. But okay, homie. Okay. But that's the kind of stuff that be on the route. So anyway, you hot garbage for that, bro. Y'all hot garbage for that. So anyway, let me get that. I got to get that out of my system. Anytime you want to call the Wiz out and say it was a snooze fest, it's boring, this, that, and the third, or whatever. Like, no, we're not doing that. No slander. Stop slandering my childhood and the things that mattered back then. Because the opportunity to do all this stuff that y'all have today, that most of us complain about, you wouldn't even have the opportunities. You don't even have musicals that rate nowadays. When's the last time y'all seen a Black musical? One that was really worth going to see, other than this Wicked or whatever that y'all hailing as the best thing since sliced cheese. No. Ronnie Silas says, I'm 37 and The Wiz is before my time, but I still enjoyed it as much as The Wizard of Oz because my parents introduced me to it. That's what I'm talking about. That's the beauty of culture and tradition. We can introduce certain things. We can introduce certain things. Why is he hating so hard? Because this is what this generation do, bro. This is what they do. This is what these are the people that, you know, had the nerve to say, you know, Martin Luther King wasn't so great. These are the generation. This is the generation of people that you know. I laugh at this generation because they complain about the economy being so terrible and so trash, right? And saying that, well, when y'all was a kid or when y'all was coming up, y'all don't have to face the prices we bet, but we still had to work our tail off for it. That hasn't changed. The work ethic has not changed. Y'all need mental breaks. Y'all need vacations. Don't make nobody feel bad. Don't call nobody lazy. Don't. Everybody gets a participation trophy. Yeah. It is crazy that we can actually defecate on the shoulders that we stand on. This is what this generation does sometimes. I'll be looking at y'all, be like, man, y'all don't deserve half the stuff that you get. We don't deserve half the nerd stuff that we get. I'm not saying that this stuff is not perfect. None of it is, though. That's the point. It's art. It's not supposed to be perfect. You know, I mean, people have problems with colorism and everything and this, that, and the third. Listen, there are no. If you want me, I'm gonna go ahead and go there. Black folk are always talking about colorism. When the guy that got the role for Green Lantern, they said he was too light. There are no light-skinned heroes. Somebody tell me a light-skinned black hero. Somebody tell me a light-skinned black hero. Light-skinned black folk can't be heroic. Y'all get mad if they ain't dark enough, but I'm just wondering where is the light-skinned representation? You don't have it. Because all the people used black back in the day was brown number 5 in comics, particularly. But anyway, yeah. So shout out to the Root for being trash. Let's move on. We got a comicbook.com article. Speaking of what we want and why we don't get it and all this other stuff. First of all, comicbook.com need to go get a late pass. They say Marvel and DC need to stop giving us special anthologies and start giving us meaningful stories instead. It says here that Marvel and DC have thousands of characters, and it can be hard to showcase all of them in monthly comics. However, both publishers have come up with something of a workaround. While also showing the diversity of their characters, the anthologies every year during Black History Month, Pride Month, I think that's AAPI, Women's History Month, and more. Marvel and DC putting out anthology books, ones that showcase characters are both well-known and obscure. These anthologies have some amazing stories in them. For example, DC Pride 2222, Finding Batman by Kevin Conroy, illustrating the actor's struggles with being in the closet and how playing Batman helped him, have reintroduced multiple amazing characters to fans. As great as these anthologies can be, however, it often feels like the big two are using them to tick off a box. Of course they are. Anthologies are a great way to get fans interested in characters they hadn't thought about in years. But how many times have Marvel and DC actually done anything important with any of the characters in any of these anthologies? That's Black folk since day one, okay? You know, we talk about the Marvel voices. We talk about the DC Power books, you know, why they won't do something more than what they do. It is what it is, you know. Will it ever change? I don't know. I really don't care. I'm black pill when it comes to this. If we get something, great. If we don't, I'm not tripping either way. I don't feel no way about it because I'm not screaming for diversity. I'm not screaming for representation like that personally because, one, I already have it. And two, even though young people behind me need it, it's hard to get young people into comics because the truth be told, the young people are in the anime and manga. They not messing with superheroes like that. That is just the truth. And the better off we are when we accept that your kid may not find Batman as appealing. They may not find Wonder Woman as appealing. They may not find Miles Morales is the only character that I think that is generationally transcended, so to speak. Which, by the way, I believe is he's really got Static's mantle, but okay, I'll leave that alone. But yeah, the collector says prolific writers rarely pick and write about these characters. I mean, the truth be told, it's some learning involved. You know what I'm saying? You have to like know these characters. These characters are not well known, which is why they don't get the exposure of the people that work at these companies like Marvel and DC. You know, they don't know some of these characters. I mean, everybody's not checking for Amazing Man. You know, I've never heard a white writer say, you know what, I want to write Amazing Man. You're probably never going to hear that. Oh, geez, don't start on my boy. I'm good. We good, bro. I love Miles. You know that, man. But yeah, we you know, you're never going to get mainstream success for some of these characters because the interest is just not there. Um, the Eclectic says you're not going to get an Avengers team without Iron Man, Cap, Thor in the roster of any X-Men without Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, Rogue, Gambit. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Mr. Mario Van Bryson, what good? What's good? Miles comic has an anime look and feel, in my opinion. And it's probably like that for a reason, because again, younger people are into anime and manga. And I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I really 100% do not have a problem with young people liking what young people like. It's not my taste, and I have no right to say that that the stuff that they like or enjoy is terrible. But what I do have a right to is to, like, you know what, stand up for the characters that I admire, the characters that I appreciate. And so that's why Black Comic Lords is here, and that's why we celebrate what we celebrate, how we celebrate it, because we recognize that these companies, yes, they own these properties. They're not going to always do what's in the best interest of these of the buying public, or an OG such as myself or whatever. But you know what we can do is just ask for it, or we can just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? If we talk about it long enough, maybe somebody will get a clue over at Marvel or at DC or at any of these other companies and say, hey, we need to give these people more, you know, books. Here's the thing. Joanne Mullen, Green Lantern or whatever, she may not get another single run. And to be honest, and it's not that she's not a good character, she is. But the question is, who's going to write it? Who cares? That's the other thing. Who's going to write it and who cares? Because everybody don't care. It's just what it is. Mr. Mario says, I bought Black Defender thanks to your live. Good book. Appreciate that, man. That's what's up. And that's why we're here. You know what I'm saying? We find something dope to read and talk about. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully somebody will support and celebrate, because that's really what it's all about, man. That's what it's really all about. Eclectic has a question. Could the remedy be supporting the indie companies that have the representations that we are clamoring for? That is the answer. That is the answer. See, let me just say this about the old heads. And I challenge Paul on this all the time. I said, Paul, could you put down Black Panther? If you can get that same type of character at another independent company, could you put Marvel's Black Panther away? And that's a hard task. That is a hard ask for someone who's been reading and been a fan for this character for decades. A lot of us, the older ones among us, are going to struggle with that. Yes, I think we should give the independents, you know, a shot, and we do. But the question becomes, can we get the volume or the material that we want in a concentrated, generated form, kind of like what Milestone did back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? When you have a book on the shelf every week. If we had something like that going on, then that's close. But a lot of independents have to, you know, they have to rely on Kickstarters. They have to rely on word of mouth. They have to rely on, you know, people such as myself to, like, you know, big them up. And it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I know I can't be end all be all. And, you know, I'll get criticism for leaving somebody out. Why don't y'all talk about this character? Why don't y'all talk about that IP? And it happens all the time, but it's like, you know, guys, we are just one company, one brand, you know. And my thing is, Black Comic Lords is a platform, which means that, you know, we don't own, or we don't, you know, have the authority, if I can say it like that, to call certain things this, that, and the third. If you like certain books, you can easily go on Black Comic Lords YouTube page, not YouTube page, Black Comic Lords Facebook group or Black Superheroes Facebook and put people up on stuff. So the majority of the material that Black Comic Lords generates comes from you guys. Not doesn't come directly from us. It comes from you guys. We get recommendations. We get people to come in and say, hey, check out this book, check out this character, check out these collectors that normally would, there's one brother in particular, he stays showing us independent Black material. Dope. Love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he's doing it. Because could I do it? Maybe. But it's a cost to doing that. You know what I'm saying? I just can't talk about just this when I got this over here going on. We need help with this. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody else to start a YouTube channel and talk about Black comic books. We need that. The culture needs that. But with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and shout out my boy Bo Big for the super chat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Yep. Frustrated says anime has a world building aspect to it that makes the story seem cohesive, but they also have one writer, and if the writer leaves, they are still consulting on the time. I think that's big. You know what I'm saying? Japanese manga knows what they want to do and the direction they want to go. I don't necessarily know that we have that in Western comics, but it's worked, and they are killing the game. It is what it is. He also says that I think if the big two hired more young, new writers of different backgrounds, they could have more diverse characters out front. Well, I think frustrated they do, but I think the problem comes in when you don't necessarily know the material, or you take away from the canon aspects of books. There are a lot of new writers out here. Are they the best writers? No, but at the same time, there's a crop of new writers out here, and some of the quote unquote good ones we may not even hear for 2 or 3 years from now because they're on books that nobody's buying. And you know what I'm saying? It's amazing. Vida Ayala, who we interviewed a week or two ago, has written a lot of comic books. But Vida Ayala is while she is popular, but there's still people that don't know who she is, or who they is. I want to be respectful of the pronouns. So, the thing is, what do you do when you have artists that want to do certain things? Because one thing I can say about Vida, put the work in. Got to put the work in. She's put the work in. When you do that, you can make moves, you can make waves, if that makes any sense. Yeah. The new writers usually cut their teeth on indie books before the big two reach out. Yep. It's no different though. Yeah. So anyway, as far as like Marvel and DC doing, more with these, these characters or whatever, at the end of the day, it's about sales. Sales, sales, sales. Sales drives comic book interest. It just does. Our job as Black collectors is to collect Black-led books, books with Black characters in them, books with Black writers in them, books with Black artists in them. That's our job. We can't control what we can't control. The dominant culture in this world or in this country is not going to check for Joe Mullen like I would, or somebody that looks like me would. It is what it is. So yeah. Next article, we're gonna go ahead and move to some other shenanigans. If you have been under a rock It is a chance that you've heard about this interesting confrontation that took place between LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith. I wanted to cover this because I find it interesting that, you know, Stephen A., who is a sports analyst, journalist, his job is to critique, his job is to entertain, just like LeBron James' job is to ball and entertain. How does something like this happen, right? In this particular post, he covers the social media post that Stephen A. Released, basically saying that LeBron James confronted him about some of the things he had been saying about Bronny, his son. And, you know, it clearly got under LeBron's skin. So the question is, what do you do when you are a professional basketball player and you have a son who is also a professional basketball player, and you do not like the criticism that your son is receiving? It is interesting what has happened to the NBA and to basketball in general. Basketball is expensive. It's an expensive thing. It used to be where if you play ball in the hood, you go to the park and you ball out in the hood, or you go play ball in the cul-de-sac in your neighborhood, or you played at somebody's house. You could literally make that transition and play ball at school, play college, and if you're good enough, play for the NBA or overseas. Now it's about and one and private Nike leagues and this, that, and the third. You know, people used to criticize hockey for being an expensive sport, right? But basketball is just as expensive. And now you have a lot of second generation kids that are in the league, third generation kids that are in the league. And so LeBron, you know, he put it out there that his son was talented and was talented enough to play pro ball, and said that he was had more talent than half the people in the league. You put that out there, what you think gonna happen? Your problem is not with just the journalists. Your problem is with the cats who you think your son is not as good as. So now your son is behind the 8 ball over what you said and what you're trying to do. I'm not tripping on the nepotism. Get your money, get your bread. You want to play with your son? Fine. Well, it works out. It finds out that Bronny is not necessarily as skilled enough to play in the NBA like that, let alone as good as his father, whatever, okay? Most guys are not as good as their fathers when they played NBA. Kobe Bryant's dad played in the NBA. Dale Curry, the Curry brothers, their father, Dale Curry, played in the NBA. There's not a whole lot of there's a few people whose children have made it to the NBA. There's a whole crop of them now. Tim Hardaway's son, I think LeBron, I think Carmelo Anthony's got a son getting ready to probably go pro in a year or two. There's guys out here doing it. But, you know, and Bronny had medical issues. That's the other thing, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of pressure there. And so some people are jumping Stephen A. for being critical and this, that, and the third. And Stephen A. I'm not a Stephen A. apologist. Stephen A. has said a lot of things about a lot of people that I do not agree with. He was, you know, that whole the situation with Kwame Brown, and thinking that Kwame Brown was a bust. Well, Kwame Brown played in the league, I think, 10 years. You can't be in the league 10 years and be a bust, okay? But that's what Stephen A said. Either way, you can be critical. You can even be hypercritical. But the question becomes, when does it get so personal that you feel like you need to confront a journalist doing their job? And I understand both sides of this. If I have a son and you really trying to tear his head off in the media, I might have something to say about it. But there are things like phone call, things like email. There's there's things that you could do, right, to minimize this. That look kind of crazy, LeBron. And I'm a LeBron guy, but I'm not a LeBron guy to the point where I think he's the GOAT. My humble opinion, that's Jordan, and then Kobe, and then Bron is in the conversation after those two. You've been to the finals 10 times, I get it. Until you get 6 rings, there ain't really much to talk about. I need you to catch up with Kobe first. And you might catch Kobe this year if you guys get to the finals. Yeah. So feel how you feel. But, I mean, you can't be so sensitive, LeBron. You kind of set this up. You kind of put your son out there like that. And I know you had a goal of being able to, fist bump with your son and y'all playing a game together, and it's beautiful, it's wonderful. But at the end of the day, it's still the NBA. And you got to be good. Warren says Stephen A. runs his mouth too much. I'm surprised he hadn't caught a fade yet, just saying. Well, Mawan, I think that's relative. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, ESPN ain't got a problem with it. They just gave the man $10 million. They paying him to run his mouth. That's what Stephen A. does. You can't, hate the game. Don't hate the player. You gotta hate the game. It is what it is. And again, nobody's feeling sorry for Stephen A. I'm certainly not feeling sorry for Stephen A. I find Stephen A.'s commentary hilarious at times. But at the same token, you know what I'm saying, LeBron got to chill. You've been playing for 20 years, bruh. It's an amazing feat. 50,000 points. You got a draw full of championship rings. What you hanging around for? Okay, you want to keep going until you can't go. That's fine. Do your thing. But just understand that you kind of put your son in this position. Stop tweeting that you think your son is better than half the guys in the league. That didn't help you. Did you really think that was going to help your son? People saw that tweet and be like, you know what? Come on, Bronny. Come and get some. Come and get some. So y'all was worried about what Stephen A. is saying. Y'all need to be thinking about what them dudes is in the locker room saying. Because they definitely they definitely used that for motivation. Oh, you think your son that good? Okay. It is what it is, y'all. Frustrated, I'm getting ready to release a video about Iran and his being it. But yeah, it wasn't cool, bro. Pericles said, funniest quote I heard. Stephen A. Smith is what happens when a human tries to be caps locked, but look, y'all, look, I'm not tripping either way. I found it to be very, very interesting, needless to say. But I'm like, Bron, feel how you feel, bro, but you could have made a phone call. Call Stephen A. Call his people. Y'all get on the phone. Y'all talk about it and say, hey, I don't think this was cool, that kind of thing. But the fact that you did it, in front of everybody, you know. Okay. And y'all, it's clear that y'all don't have a relationship. We all know that for sure now. You know what I'm saying? All the LeBron talk for real. We know that they don't have a relationship because there's no way. Because Kobe had a relationship with Stephen A. So when Stephen A probably said things that Kobe didn't like or things that Shaq didn't like or whatever, you never heard about it because they had a relationship. It's like, okay, I don't like this, whatever, you know, that kind of thing. And Bronny's fair game. Mr. Bron says Bronny's in the public eye now. It comes with the territory. LeBron's not doing his son anything. No, he's not. But he put it out there though. And Monty says, what does Bronny think? I don't know. I don't know. But the thing is, Bronny, fair or unfair, is LeBron James' son. And this guy has been the face of the NBA for decades. So coming behind that, it was no different than, say, Michael Jordan's son. People early on found out that, no, you're not the Jordan, the parent. You might be Michael Jordan Jr., but not on the court, you're not. It is what it is. It's a part of the game. Bo Big says a lot of Stephen A. criticism wasn't about Bronny game, but how he was being raised. That definitely would get you a one-on-one conversation. Of course. I mean, look, the dude, I mean, these kids, they not like how Kendrick say, they're not like us. They get raised all kind of resources, entitlements. It is what it is. Your dad's a 100 millionaire heir. You know, how he's being raised, that kind of thing. You can question that. But now, if he was upset about that or whatever, you know, again, it still warrants a phone call. It still warrants because that's not the narrative you want out there. It's just not the narrative you want out there. That's not good for you, bro. It's not. It's the words of this. Yes. We don't care. We don't care. Yeah, Jordan's son just got arrested for cocaine. Yeah, he didn't definitely just. But see, the thing about Jordan is, unfortunately, he's got issues or whatever. But the Jordan brand is so huge and so large that people are kind of like looking at that situation like, wow, okay. But there's no real lot of press behind it. It was more press when he was dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. I mean, that. I'm like, bro, you know what I'm saying? The choices you're making in your life, you know, need to reevaluate. Frustrated says, got to give some support. Appreciate it. Super chat. Thank you, sir. Let's go. Yep. So please, LeBron, chill. Stephen A., chill. You might want to go and get you some security, bro. I'm just saying. Because it's not like, it ain't like LeBron is built like a, you know what I'm saying, he's like 100 pounds wet. I mean, LeBron James is literally a linebacker playing professional basketball. And that dude is huge. That guy that's a large human being. And so when he was looking down at Stephen A., I was like, good Lord. Yeah. You're going to do something, be careful. That's all I'm saying. So, yo, let's go on to the next. Scott Caesar said Kareem is the GOAT. Bring that back up. People stay sleeping. Oh, yeah. So, you know. I mean, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, say what you want. He's in the conversation. Him, Bill Russell. It's a lot of guys, but, you know, I think it's eras. At the end of the day, it is about eras. Even Jordan will tell you that it's about eras. So it's time to troll, y'all. It's time to troll. It's time to troll the Black Panther fan base. We got a Screen Rant article. This is gonna get y'all some laughs. And I want to let me let me preface this by saying that that the words and commentary of Richard OG Rich do not affect the staff management of Black Comic Lords. And also, it is not indicative of the branding that is Black Comic Lords. But I could not talk about this. Okay? Screen Rant put an R. So we have all been mispronouncing Black Panther's name for decades, even in the MCU. So I'm going to tell Joe Anthony Myrick, he's the author of this. I'm going to give him all the credit. Fair use. Let me say that. This is one more thing to troll the Black Panther fans about. So the time has come for Marvel to put some respect on the Black Panther's name, and we mean that literally. Not the hero's code name, as the Black Panther name is one and has been famous and revered both in comics and in movies, but the fame makes even more unbelievable that the world has been pronouncing King T'Challa's name wrong this whole time. The bombshell was dropped way back in Jungle Action number 19 and changes Marvel history in just one panel. Or more accurately, it was Marvel who incorrectly changed Black Panther lore forever. Because judging from this comic, the MCU changed how T'Challa's name is supposed to be said, canonically. So even if it's too late to correct the problem on the film, Black Panther fans can start paying respect to T'Challa every time they utter his name. What are we talking about? In Jungle Action, number 19, here we go. A still relatively new star in the Marvel roster at the time, talking about the MCU, Black Panther's earliest adventures were depicted in the Jungle Action book, with issue 19 beginning with the Black Panther's mission against the Ku Klux Klan, or rather the primitive power of the Klan, as noted by the cover art by Gil Kane, Dan Atkins, and Irv Watanabe. It's one of the Black Panther's first American allies who first asks if he goes only by his heroic moniker and is met with T'Challa's true identity. While the pronunciation is impossible on the comic page, the response asking if the proper enunciation is T'Challa is clearly mimicking the way modern world would address the king of Wakanda. So the correction that T'Challa should be pronounced without the T is guaranteed to have fans spiraling. So there it is. This is our stop. By the way, do they call you just the Panther, T'Challa, or either the Panther or T'Challa will suffice? Without the T, Kevin, without the T. So his name, the pronunciation of his name is T'Challa. So are you saying Paul don't even know his favorite character's name? I don't even think Paul is here tonight. Stan Lee said the T, so I'm gonna say I'm saying it with the T. Yeah. This is interesting. What if I yo? So y'all been out here in these comic book streets talking about free T'Challa, free T'Challa. And if T'Challa was to show up, he would say, that ain't my name. The T is silent. Now, I'm gonna be honest. Everybody, their mama is saying T'Challa. Everybody's gonna call him T'Challa. I don't think we're gonna have a bunch of people that are going to reverse and then start saying T'Challa. This thing with the Black Panther is starting to be comical. Because all we want is for them to recast the character, put him back on the throne. I mean, look, I just report the news. So for the hardcore Black Panther fans who have read this comic book and who probably have seen this panel, I know y'all have seen this panel, and it has not influenced no one to change the name. I'm just putting this out here. I just thought that was hilarious. That people are, it's clearly got to be a slow day at Screen Rant, but I just thought it was hilarious that all of the all of the fandom around Black Panther and who T'Challa is. I'm gonna say T'Challa because I'm used to calling him T'Challa. It's like, his mama called him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay. We've been calling him T'Challa for the longest. It's gonna be T'Challa. It's not gonna be Challa. But it kind of, you think about it, doesn't really make sense. I don't know. I don't know what Don McGregor and them was thinking when they put this up. Nigel the G says, nah, no thanks. That's T'Challa, not just Challa. I mean, bro. I mean, now, hold on. See, this is where we get in trouble. Now, you guys, you canon guys, you cannot ignore the canon. You cannot ignore the canon. The canon is the canon. And if it says in Jungle Action, issue number 19, that his name is T'Challa or Challa, don't say the T is silent, that's what we got to say. His daddy's name is Chaka. Yeah, well, not T'Chaka, it's Chaka. I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm here to report the news. Don't y'all cancel me. Please, please, please. I am just reporting what Screen Rant put out here. And they be cherry picking canon facts. Of course. Where Herschel at? I'm surprised Herschel ain't been up on this. We don't want the logic, we want ignorance. It's bliss. Yo, that's what it is, y'all. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Like Django. Uh-huh. Yeah, Mr. Mario. That's exactly what that is. Like, Charlie, get your sister ready for school. See, you know what I'm saying? Boy, y'all gonna have a field day with that. This style so serious. What up? It says slow day in the news. Nah, homie, it's a part of the mainstream lexicon. T'Challa. see, now it's gonna be a civil war between Black Panther fans. Who gonna call him Challa and who gonna call him T'Challa? Shout out to the Black Panther fandom. I love all y'all. Y'all are hilarious. This character is the character that keeps on giving in so many multiple ways. I am a Black Panther fan, but I did find this to be a little hilarious when I read this. And I just thought to myself, boy, we're literally scraping the barrel. We don't want to deal with the issue of the recast. We don't want to deal with the issue of making him king. We don't know when there's going to be another run of Black Panther. Hopefully we'll get a new writer soon. and we'll get a new run. But yeah, this is where we are, y'all. Yeah, this is where we are. And Nancy says, I'm not trying to think of Chaka Khan when I hear the Chaka's name. Y'all do with it, but y'all will. I'm just here to report the news. So anyway, look, y'all. He said, but the canon has been uncanon by the non. Ooh, Nigel, you get the quote of the night. But the canon has been uncanon by the non-canon. Yeah. Y'all figure it out. Y'all figure it out. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we're gonna go take a commercial break. So this is Life is the Apex. Bo Big, look, bro, I'm not here to argue. I'm just reporting the news. This is what's going on in these comic book streets. Look, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna get into Rich Recommends, and we're gonna get into Daredevil. We're gonna talk a little bit about Daredevil. So y'all get something to drink and restroom break, whatever it is. Check out my man Herschel and I Am a Black Comic Lord. What that means to us and what we want that to mean to you. We'll be right back in a few minutes. Y'all stay tuned.
What's good, comic fam? It's finally happened. We're actually going to start selling our Black Comic Lord t-shirts. But not just any Black Comic Lord t-shirts. No. When we decided to do this, we knew we had to get with the right partners. So we got with Jay Winston from Winston's Wham, and we also got with the fabulous artist, Otis Arterberry. Anybody can just throw a cover on the shirt, but we wanted to make this special. So without further ado, this is the final product. Orders will be going out as soon as you guys get your orders in. So let's take a look. Now this is more like it. So what you're going to get here is you're going to get a Black Comic Lord variant with the Charlie Brown theme, but we're going with Franklin and we're showing all of the dope Black key comics. Let's take a closer look. I can't believe they even squeezed all these keys together. As a matter of fact, I gotta go grab some of these keys. They got First Black Panther, Tomb of Dracula 10, which is First Blade. They got Black Man right here, which is a dope book. They got Gun Hawks, Weird Fantasy, Brother Voodoo, several different Black Panther books, Lobo #1, Lobo #2. I mean, it is jam-packed full of key Black comics. Oh, and did I tell you, Willie Cordy Jr. is also involved in this project? You absolutely got to buy one now. Speaking of Willie Cordy, he was also the artist behind the very first Black Comic Lord variant, which Franklin is holding in his hand. And don't get me started on his satchel. Man, I need that bag. We might have to negotiate a deal for a bag. Get your orders in now. Oh yeah, I'll leave the website to where you guys can order in the description and also in the headline. Make sure y'all go pick one up. Black Comic Lords, baby.
Yo, we back. So yeah, man. Good to be back. Good to be back. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick Rich Recommends, and then we're going to get into Daredevil. So we was talking about T'Challa earlier, and I recently reread a old Black Panther story, Black Panther, Panther's Prey. It's a 4-issue volume graphic novel. That's how they market it or whatever, right? And, I think it's a dope book to read. Now, here's the thing about Panther's Prey. Panther's Prey is not the most best written book, even though I enjoy Don McGregor's work on Jungle Action. And I've enjoyed this here, but it's kind of all over the place. It's a story about the Black Panther and his pursuit of a wife. But it also is about a character named Solomon Prey, who happens to be the villain in this story, how medically somehow or another he does some stuff to himself, and the dude has wings. It's kind of a weird, trippy story. But It's a lot of dope stuff in it. And ultimately, the thing is, this book came out in 1991. It's 4 issues of it, whatever, right here. But I don't have the last one because I just finished it and I set it down somewhere. I don't know where I put it. But it's basically a story where somebody smuggles, or I take it Solomon Prey smuggles crack into Wakanda. And so this came out in the 90s, 1991 to be exact. And so it doesn't really focus a whole lot on the presence of crack in Wakanda. It really focuses on T'Challa and his pursuit. Solomon Prey kind of has his own story weaved into this story, but ultimately, one of T'Challa's friends is coming to him and saying, "Hey, you got to get an heir, bro. You need an heir to the throne. You don't have a wife. What are you doing? You need somebody to marry." And so Monica Lynn, who is the woman that's associated with T'Challa before Storm, is, the woman he's had this relationship off and on with, I guess. And so there are parts of it, particularly issue number 3 of this book, where this is the kind of the focus, the story with her and Monica Lynn. And it's a pretty dope story. It's a pretty dope story, to be honest. Manifesto says crack in Wakanda. Yes. It gets smuggled in. It's not on a wide scale or whatever, but something happens to where a kid finds it or gets it, and he smokes it, and things happen. And the story, unfortunately, ends with another kid smoking crack. That's how the story kind of ends. It's kind of a somber reality in looking at life in Black community. That, yes, people get high, and that's not going to stop, because that's what people do. So, but I think it's something that you want in your collection. I think you should go on and grab it. And these books are cheap. You can find these books in dollar bins. It's 4 issues. It's Don McGregor and Dwayne Turner on the art. The art's got a different little funny style, but it has that 90s kind of style to it. Black independent art style, if you understand that. I'm thinking like Original Man, that type of thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's part of the Black Panther story, and Panther's Prey. It's a solid story, and it's really like a transition from Panther's Rage, which takes place in Jungle Action, to this volume of Panther's Prey. And of course, there's a story, I think, in between that where T'Challa, and you can't get you get those issues, but I don't know if you can get them in a volume. But Marvel Comics created a story where T'Challa was down in South Africa. And so this is kind of like the volume of story after that. Okay. So yes, I want to introduce that. So if you guys never thought about picking that up or reading that, you should definitely do that. Anansi says that Monica's still deceased in the comics, so Storm and PP fan shouldn't feel upset. Yeah. Well, to me, it's one of those things where, T'Challa had a life before Storm. And so it's like, if you're a Black Panther fan, you should want to explore what his life was like. How did he see things? And I'll be honest, he looked very passionate for Monica Lynn in this story. He was smitten with her. Not to say Storm is not easy. She definitely the bomb diggity, okay? But he was pretty smitten with Monica Lynn. So Ray hits us with the super chat. Says, speaking of Monica Lynn, I hate that Marvel killed her off. They had her die of cancer. They also had Cord from the New Warriors die of cancer. Yeah.
Keep on back!
Yeah, man. That's the thing about comic book characters, whatever. Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, they had him die of cancer. So, um, it's is it messed up? Of course. As someone who had cancer, no, it's not it sucks to have that, you know what I'm saying? But it's a part of life, and people uh some people are able to recover from it, get healed from it, and some people submit to it or succumb to it. It's unfortunate. I mean, there's characters, unfortunate, good characters sometimes die. We talk about it all the time about Orpheus on the DC side. Well, they killed him in War Games. But that's unfortunate. Frustrated, he says, if you have been reading the Phoenix story, it feels like they stole Ewan's Photon story. Mm. Hey, I'm glad you said it. As all of us say about that, frustrated. Glad you said it. There may be some truth to that. So yeah, let's get into Daredevil real quick because we got to get out of here, guys. I don't have a whole lot of time tonight. So Disney Plus finally released the first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. And it did not disappoint. But I gotta say that they started this show and hit everybody with a hot slug. I mean, it jumped off crazy. And so I like this burn that they're doing because this is a slow burn. This is going to be a slow burn, but they got it cracking in the first episode. It was just like, this what we doing? And I don't want to give it away, but like one of the better characters of the show, I mean, they literally Game of Thrones this thing. Like, what are y'all doing? Wilson Fisk, I like Kingpin as a villain. Kingpin as a villain is, yeah. He's seeing him as mayor. I'm interested to see how, and it looks like they're not pulling everything. They're pulling stuff from earlier runs. Initially, we thought they might be pulling some stuff from the Chip Zdarsky stuff. They threw the cannon is out the door. The cannon is out the window. I'm gonna just tell you like this: if you are a hardcore Daredevil fan, this is gonna piss you off. So just let you know what I'm saying? They not doing the traditional stuff, but I like the direction that they're going in. Without giving it away, it appears that Matt Murdock is at this point right now, he is the reluctant hero. He is not trying to be Daredevil. He's in a different headspace, and he's not trying to do that. And the first episode kind of shows you why. But it's one of those things where Daredevil is, you will be hard to press to find a Marvel comic fan that does not like Daredevil, because Daredevil is a likable character. Matt Murdock is the truth. Matt Murdock got hands, and yeah, he got a little player to him too. So we'll see. So yeah, so it's off to a great start. Not going to get into the specifics of it because some people may want to watch it and have not seen it. I'm not going to talk spoilers. My man said Manifesto said that first-ish episode started off strong. Juan says, I'm watching Daredevil right after this. Yes, you going to enjoy it. Frustrated wants them. They have to bring back the Luke Cage series 2. 1 in 100 podcast says, I like the episodes. I didn't love them. It was almost like 2 pilot episodes. Yeah, that's kind of how it started. You know what I'm saying? But I think they just kind of getting you warmed up to it because, you know, the direction that they're going, I ain't gonna call it. It ain't woke, but it ain't sleep either. So yeah, there's some elements in this that we looking at our political climate. We can kind of like, I see that. I see y'all working more. Yeah. This style so serious. Say beat you and hide the Bible of God. Watch. Well, see, that's the other thing too. I don't know if they're going to dig into his faith. I'm hoping that they will. And there is a scene in the movie where you kind of see that they might play into that a little bit, but they're literally you're really getting foreshadows of things in this series. So it's not something that you can just turn on and watch and keep in the background. You got to really watch this to understand what's going on. So yeah, but yeah, I like Kingpin's. I like his story arc. I'm interested to see how that's going to play out. But Matt Murdock is not fooled by the new Wilson Fisk. He not fooled at all. Yeah. So anyway, y'all check that out, man. Y'all check that out. So with that said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get into a little chat talk. What it is you guys want to talk about real quick. Like I said, I got a few more minutes, and then we're gonna get out of here. My reads of the week or whatever, or my favorite reads of the week. Definitely enjoyed the Storm book. Yeah, just picked up the Herculoids #1. I got the Herculoids #1. Yes. I'm glad that's out. I hadn't read it yet, but I do have it over there. But I guess my read of the week would be Storm, issue 6. Put some respect on Marewa Ayodele, man. Because that girl Storm, man. Ooh-wee. Storm know how to put you on your back. Don't play with Storm. That's all of us. She got busy in this. She got busy in this issue. So yeah, says, is that Space Ghost still going? Yes, it is. Scott Caesar says the MCU has been spitting in the face of hardcore fans for 15 years. What else is new? I'd rather have another season of Godfather of Harlem. Well, I think season 4 Godfather is I don't know if they're going to do anything after season 4, but I do know that that's getting ready to start up if it hasn't already. The new season of Power, Raising Kanan, came out, which was a disappointment, I would say, only because it's literally an epilogue episode. How do you make an epilogue episode of the season at the beginning of the season? That kind of bothered me with that, and I don't know who made that call, but that y'all literally could have just did a 2-episode season finale instead of making what you did in the season, beginning the season like that. So it was weird, but yeah. Makoto is wild. Yes. I I'm looking for issue number 2 of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's came out yet or not, but yeah, it's a good story. I wonder what great. I picked up the new Monkey Meat because of Rich. Appreciate it. Johnny Barr's the truth, bro. That dude can write. That dude can write. Are you reading? He says, Styles of Serious asked, are you reading Tales of Gunslinger? Yes, I am, and I'm enjoying that for sure. It's better than the Gunslinger book. And I'm enjoying the Gunslinger book. But Tales of Gunslinger, that's been great. That's been great. Uncle Todd's been putting some stuff out, y'all. Ain't nothing to play with. If you like independent, the Spawn universe type stuff, yeah, got it going on for sure. He said, Anansi says, I wonder what great things Morello will do with Vixen at DC Comics. That's a good question. I don't know if he would, if he's a fan of Vixen, but I can imagine he could do something. He could do something good because I'm gonna be honest. This Storm book that we got now has been the best Storm books of all the Storm volumes and stuff, and I like most of the Storm stuff that has been put out. Now the Storm book that came out about a year ago, that wasn't that good. That just wasn't. But this here, it's been fire. Have I been reading Iron Man? Have not been reading Iron Man. I've heard people talk about it, but I'm not really an Iron Man guy like that. I know Herschel's the War Machine guy and that kind of thing, but I'm not really an Iron Man, fan like that. Not to collect and that kind of thing. Yeah, there's some good stuff out here, y'all. What else have I been reading? Moon Knight, issue 4, I want to say. Moon Man finally came out with an issue. It finally picked back up, issue number 7. Kid Cudi, shout out to him. Salmon Twitch is a good book as well. Styles So Serious is better than Eric Jerome Dickey. You would say Eric Jerome Dickey. I'll say it like this. Storm's Eric Jerome Dickey's story is about Storm and T'Challa. And because I like Storm and T'Challa, and most of us think that Storm and T'Challa should have that relationship, the story that he wrote or whatever was phenomenal. Eric Jerome Dickey is not even a comic book writer. That guy used to rest in peace, but that guy writes novels. Okay, his novels are amazing if you like fiction, love stories, and that kind of thing. But when he was picked to do the Storm book, I thoroughly enjoy it. I have the floppies of that book. I have the hardback version of that book. That book is very, very good. Is it as good as this? I can't say. And the reason why I say I can't say is because for that time, that book was the best. But for this time, the Storm arc or the Storm character, where she is, that kind of thing, I don't see nothing superseding this. I just don't. So yeah. So don't sleep on Ice Cream Man. These books are a trip. Ice Cream Man horror comics are cool. I have a few of those. I don't collect it all the time, but I do have a healthy number of Ice Cream Man books. I like horror volume stories, so yeah. Your Styles is it good that I can't argue if you said yes? Yeah, I mean, look, in this particular issue, it's actually in the middle of a crossover, the ex-Manhunt books or whatever. And without giving the story away, let's just say that Storm puts the smackdown on her old team. Scott Caesar says, I tried to read Justice League Unlimited. It's just too many characters I don't care about. Not to mention Manhunter disrespect, DC still trash. I will stick to Moon Knight Ultimate. Oh boy, Scott Caesar, boy. I look, You know, I mean, give my man Black Lightning a chance. I hope you collected that, bro. He's in the Ultimate. I mean, he's in the Justice League Unlimited book. But I hope you're getting the issues of Black Lightning, because that's been a good story. So yeah. Manifesto says, I'll stop House of Slaughter. Man, look, y'all, yeah, you know. It's weird, man. Some writers can write amazing stuff, and it starts off amazing, and they get like 2 or 3 volumes in, and then it starts to get like, okay, what are we doing? It doesn't really, I don't know. I have a few House of the Slaughter books and Something Is Killing the Children. They've been amazing, but somebody get with Rodney Barnes, man. I need that Philadelphia back. Matter of fact, before the Philadelphia book comes back, Mr. Rodney Barnes, respectfully, I need my next volume of Nita Halls. I need my next volume of Philadelphia. I need my next volume of Sheriff Gatlin. I need my next volume of 20 Past Rigor. I need a Rodney Barnes book in the shop. Now, Batman Full Moon just finished. I think that it was not the best Rodney Barnes that we've read, but I do think it was solid for the book that it was. Definitely a good werewolf story. My problem was that it came out like, it should have been like together, more compact, because you got to go back and remember what you read, that kind of thing. And so I think this will fare better as a trade. But yeah, it was a solid outing, you know what I'm saying? But I am going to reread it with all the books together, because I think it will fare better as a trade. Yep. So look, guys, frustrated since I got to get back to Killer Devil Store and not stay a cameo. Well, hopefully it will. Yeah. We got to get out of here, man. I know it's an hour, 30 minutes in or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But early call, early rise, and that kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? With that said, I'm going to go ahead and get a benediction. Man, I just want to say that I want you guys to always remember that this is comic books and that we're supposed to have fun. Don't forget to have fun. Don't forget to read what you love. Don't forget to have fun. And always remember that it's just comics. We make a lot of jokes here. We poke fun at certain things, whatever, but I just want you guys to remember it's always about fun. Always about fun. Don't make this more than what it is. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to be an activist with this. You know what I'm saying? The real activism is in the streets, for real, not in these YouTube streets. Too many YouTubers, I'm just saying. The fight is outside. It's not in here. Okay. So when it comes to wanting what we want, we vote with our dollars. We vote with our voices. But the biggest voice that you can speak is our dollar. Money talks. And we know what BS does. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get a benediction and get out of here. The benediction comes from Psalm 46, verse 1. Psalm 46:1 says, God is our refuge and our strength, a helper who is always found in a time of trouble. From the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich. We're going to say peace. And thank you guys for your presence. Thank you for the super chats. And until next time, Wednesday night, don't forget we have Black Lightning, issue number 5 to discuss. We're going to get into it. Shout out to my man Brandon Thomas and the whole squad. Till then, we say peace. We'll see you when we see you. We out.